Says the two triangles are similar. So it says these two triangles are similar. It says measure of angle S is 15 degrees. So this is S here, 15 degrees. And since they're similar, the angles are going to equal each other. So like this angle is 15 degrees, so would this be, like the corresponding angle will also be 15 degrees. It says measure of angle R is 110. It's labeled here. And again, the corresponding angle on this would also be 110 since they're similar. And it says find the measure of D, E, and F. Okay, well, E, I already have that labeled, is 110 degrees. F, 15 degrees. And then for this one here, to find out that last angle, just do 180 minus 110 minus 15, and it comes out to 55 degrees. So 55, and this would also be 55 if you needed to know that. Yeah. Go ahead. Okay, next, over here. This is triangle midsegment theorem. This came up in a prior chapter. It also comes up in this chapter. So just to review how it works, this right here would be like a midsegment, and it corresponds with the side that's parallel to it, and it's half of the length of this side here. So whatever this length is, this would be half of it. And then also this hits at the midpoint of these segments over here. So like this is the same length as this, like it's the midway point. And then this is the same length as this. And then this right here is the same length as this right here. These are all midpoints. Okay, so based on that, this corresponds with this side. It's half of the length of this. And then here, this corresponds with this, and it's half of the length of this. Okay, so based on that, we'll look at the numbers. So it says QR is 28. So from here to here, this whole thing is 28. SU is 50. So this little segment here is 50. PR is 96. And then it asks for these segment lengths. So PQ, so it's asking for this whole length here. Well, this is 50, and this would be double that. So 50 plus 50 is 100. So PQ is 100. And then TU, this length right here, this corresponds with this, and it's half of the length of this here. So to find TU, I'm going to do 96 divided by 2, which equals 48. So this would be 48. And then for PT, so this part right here would be half of 100, since this is a midpoint, so it would be 50. Okay, next one. This one right here, we wanted to make sure to include it in like this chapter for sure, because it's really popular on PSATs and SATs and standardized testing. Like so popular. You'll definitely see it on SATs and all that. So we wanted to make sure to teach it really well. Let's see. Okay, and that's probably too zoomed in. I can't see the whole problem. Okay. So here it has a drawing for us, which is nice. It says a woman wants to measure the height of a nearby building. She places a 6-foot pole in the shadow of the building so that the shadow of the pole is exactly covered by the shadow of the building. The total length of the building shadow is 174. It's nice that they have this all set up as a picture, but they don't label like the heights and measurements. So as I go through this, I'm going to put in the measurements. So it says 6-foot pole. So 6 foot right here. And then it also says the total length of the building shadow is 174. So shadow of the building, 174 feet right here, so that length. And the pole casts a shadow that is 4.75 feet long. Right here. How tall is the building? Round your answer to the nearest foot. So how tall is the building? So we're looking for the height here. Okay, so you may not see this right away, but I've seen this style of problem before and I can see it. So there's actually two triangles. There's a triangle right here, and then there is a larger triangle right here. And these two triangles are similar because like the shadow and the sun would be similar. So I'm going to actually separate these triangles so I can see it more clearly. So I have the smaller triangle here, which is 6 feet by 4.75 feet. And then the larger all-encompassing triangle is x feet tall, we don't know. We're going to solve for that. And 174 feet here. And so this here, the shadow corresponds with the shadow, and then height corresponds with the height, and we'll set up a proportion. So let's see, we'll do 4.75 over 174 feet, so like shadow to shadow, equals height to height, so 6 feet over x feet. So if I did like small over big, I did small over big here, so it's all set up correctly to solve correctly. And then once I have it set up, I'm going to use cross multiplication. So 4.75x equals 174 times 6, which is 1044. And then from here, divide x equals. And then when you divide it, you get like a crazy decimal. Divided by 4.75, it comes out to this long thing. To 19.78947, and it keeps going. But this says to round your answer to the nearest foot, so that would be a whole number. So about 220. This would round up to 220. So 220 feet is the height of the building. Okay, so I want you to leave this out. I'm going to come around and give you credit for it.